Okay, this is a video for the Sony IER M9. Not sure why it's 9. It's got 5 balanced armatures inside. Sony BAs. They make them in-house. It fits very well. It sounds very good. It comes with an exceptional accessory package. Sony, these two, the Z1R and this, they make you feel like you got your money's worth, really. The Campfire audio, which I've been never wanting to do, I'm going to end up doing because it's also 5BA. It's very well known. I like the M9 better than it, so it would be a good video to do as a comparison. I've already tipped my hat which one I'm going to like, but I can get into more detail about the signature of the Andromeda that sounds thin to me. Always did. And then there's the fit. So this, I don't even notice in my ear, which is a very good thing. And I like the signature. I like the way that it plays back. I do like lots of Sony stuff, so that's a slight disclaimer that you guys should be aware of. The MA900s, the Z1R over-ears, the in-ear Z1Rs, the EX800, the EX1000, the EX90, XB90EX, that's that one. 16 millimeters. It's like I was collecting them or something. So I'm a big fan. They make tons of stuff, and I don't like all of it, but I should say that I'm quite a fanboy. Tupac, Picture Me Rolling, Michael Jackson, Want to Be Starting Something, Aerosmith, No More, Black Sabbath, Sweet Leaf. I also checked U2, still haven't found what I'm looking for, checking Kind of Stage. Also listened to Ozzy D, Def Leppard, Bringing on the Heartbreak, Grateful Dead, Ripple, America, Tin Man, Since I've Been Loving You, Led Zeppelin, Violent Femmes, also Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams. I didn't check out Mos Def on this one. It's a kind of warmish, but detail. It's all the micro details that I'm looking for there. Let me start with Tupac, Picture Me Rolling. Tupac has, I have to assume that some people watching the video haven't seen this channel before. This double LP, which is right there, or double CD, whatever you bought it. I got both. It's very, very well mastered. And on this track, for example, Picture Me Rolling, there's a deck mix, like they created it. Like it sounds like a small train. It's kind of an indication if there's some loss in the treble or a precipitous early roll off, and that's not the case with this set. There is a dip on the graph in the treble, but it's not reflected on that instrument or hi-hat strikes, as I'll find out later. So all of the micro details in Picture Me Rolling, When We Ride, Can't See Me, all the stuff I usually check in this actually sounded very good, better than I expected. 5 BAs, my S tier. This is my bias. We all have it. I think that dynamic driver bass is my preference, and I think that eventually my list is going to be dominated by dynamics or very well done hybrids. I don't think BAs quite do it for me. I didn't find this to be. That's a lie. I did find it to be lacking in tactile kind of expression, the feeling that you get. I just apparently really need that, but that's the bass head in me. So if you are a fan of the DM6 and you really like, BA done well, this would be another 5 BA set that I would rec that you consider. You're definitely getting your money's worth as far as the quality of the cables, the tips, the packaging, the build of the item itself. I don't know where you would get a Sony where they wouldn't back it up if you had an issue. Michael Jackson, Want to Be Starting Something. Left channel beep at 1 minute 27 to 1 minute 33. It's a double beep. It is not audible on this set. It is audible on the V14 by Thea Audio. That's got 14 balanced armatures, and it's a psychotic OCD amazing set. That is probably maybe one of the only all BA sets that's going to be on my S tier in a long term in the future. That Unholy VX is like a gatekeeper for me right now. Maybe that'll be there, but I don't know. I don't really play with switches that much. Once I find what I want, I move along. This set doesn't play that, but that's not a shame because the Anole, I don't recall, does it. I'd have to double check, but I know that the V14 does. The Z1R does, so that's not really a ding. The beat, all of the other micro details inside of Want to Be Starting Something. Also, I listen to Billie Jean. Dun, 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 dun. On stuff, it's the tactile bass that I'm missing. It's not the low end. This is actually, if we take a look at the graph real quick, this is like a compensation curve, because balanced armatures, if they're done flat, they really can seem kind of lacking. If you tune it up a little bit, it's impersonating a dynamic driver, pretty much. You've got to kind of do this and do it well. And if you look at this, and I've spoken about this before, this is coming into the mids at a really nice smooth decline, and it's got its 1K rise, which typically at 2K, this is at least 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is a little bit different, and this is kind of like the DM6. I'd have to take a look at the graph that I did, but it had this little late mids extra bump before it started going. Not noticing that. This is what I thought I did the graph today. I did my listening over the past 4 or 5 days, and if I had looked at this graph, I might have thought, so I've started doing all my listening first and then the graph last, and then I look at the graph and think, oh, that's what happened. Because if I look at a graph first, you know, I'm not a robot. If I see a giant peak or I see a giant cavity, I'm going to absorb that and then maybe project it into my listening experience. Let's be real. Come on. This stuff can affect. Having looked at this, I would have thought certain things. I thought that the vocals sounded really good on this. Michael Jackson sounded great. Aerosmith, when I was checking for Steven Tyler, the cymbal strikes and the piano, I thought everything sounded fine. If I had looked at this graph, I might have thought, here's the thing. I've been doing a lot of monitor-ish. That I call them monitors because they're not really emphasizing anything too much. This would be kind of bassy, but because it's BA, it's more of a sense of warmth and weight kind of to it, more than like boom, because it's not a dynamic driver. So this is it's like a compensation curve. This is BA, make it feel a little bit like a dynamic, elevated, kind of. That's what it's doing. It's not getting in the way of anything in the mids, but it's got a warm sense because of the way that they elevated this. The vocals are being portrayed, including Steven Tyler, in somewhat of a monitorish way. They're not emphasized because there's not a lot of harmonic extension on the voices. It sounds very natural to me, and I was enjoying it a lot more than I expected, because that's the flagship. I think it's better. I think it's on a whole nother level, but I wasn't really thinking much about the 5 BAs, man. You know what I mean? Like 5 BA, I eat that for breakfast. Like, what? That was 2 years ago. That was the DM6. That was the Andromedas that I never dug. Like 5 BAs, TSMR did a good set. No big deal. I like it. A little bit of that is bias, but when I was noting that I really like the delivery of the vocals, it's before I saw this graph, which I literally did today. I should take out I do them on this, and they're time-stamped, so I can show you next time, like when I do it. I'll do my graphs just before. Actually, that wouldn't work, because I could do it, delete, and then do another one, so never mind. But anyway, this just got done today. I put it in my community section. I looked at it and thought, that's interesting, and that's why I'm getting energy for stuff that dies later, like cymbal strikes and some of the high energy stuff that happens in some of the mixes that I listen to. So Aerosmith sounded fine. There was no problem. Black Sabbath. Where dynamic drivers struggle, BAs and everything else seem to shine just a little bit better, because the haze that happens from a lot of the low frequency stuff going on, and a lot of Black Sabbath stuff. Black Sabbath is dark. They were all about image. They weren't into devil worship, unless you wanted to believe that, and that would help sell them albums. Like, that's the way Tony Iommi basically kind of was dealing with the question when it was given to him. No, they didn't worship the devil or Satan or whatever, but if you thought that was cool, then buy an album. Kind of, sure, okay. But look at that, come on, that's kind of spooky. I remember when I saw that when I was a little kid and was like, who is she? That the whole aura, the music, the level of distortion that they use is significant, and it makes dynamics, except for the very best, struggle a little bit. And this set played sweetly very well. I enjoyed it. The only time where I noticed anything was America Tin Man, and that wasn't even Okay. I don't know if you guys know this. There's a real triangle, a real one, that is on this track at 39-second timestamp that was a little bit soft compared to how I'm expecting it in my mind. And then looking at the graph, it kind of makes sense. It exists somewhere in here. The way that it's mixed in the Tupac, which is a virtual type one, and the mix deck is slightly different. Maybe it's up here. It sounds a little like, that's why I said it sounds like a mini triangle. It's a little bit higher. The one in Tin Man is existing maybe in this range. Nothing else sounded. Bass didn't have the impact at certain times. That one thing kind of grabbed me. Like, I listened to it and I listened to it again and I turned up the volume a little bit, and then when the vocalist comes in, I thought, okay, my volume's up a little, and turned it back down. And that was about the only moment where I double checked something. And looking at the graph now, I'm going to have to think that that's something that would exist in here. Is that a big deal? It wasn't for me when I was coming to my conclusions, but now looking at that while I'm doing this video, because this is the first time I put it up on a big screen, that's where that came from. That's it. This is how graphs, if you are looking and spending a lot of money and you want to use a graph because you know what is okay and what is not okay, it's a very, very good tool. If you're a hobbyist and you want to enjoy the hobby, I don't know, that's up to you to decide. As a person that does reviews, I think I have to go by music first. That literally just happened live. I was thinking, was there any moment where that was the one I went back on, that triangle, because I already did a triangle on Picture Me Rolling, but that is, like I said, it sounds like a small triangle, and it's higher in the frequency, and that didn't have a problem, but a legit real triangle on this track at 39 seconds, that sounded different. So that's, my brain is imaging a big triangle, like you might see it up in band class, and the one that's mixed on the deck is just, it's not even real, but it sounds like one. Ding. You go listen to it if you want. Cymbal strikes on Hey, What Can I Do? I thought were excellent, which is a big thing. Cymbal strikes are euphoric for me. Not orgasmic, but my brain has heard it so many times. I played drums a little bit. I tried to play the bass guitar a little bit in my life. I was, you know what I mean? Then I wanted to be the lead singer, and I went through that stuff in junior high school and high school a little bit, just like everybody else. And listening to cymbal strikes at live shows, hitting it myself repeatedly, it's an exciting. I don't know what that is, man. Watching a drummer crash a cymbal, you know what I mean? It just, you hear that sound and it's powerful. It's the only thing that can match that is watching a full orchestra, like the Boston Symphony Orchestra in the half shell at the Esplanade, and because it's a half shell, the music is shooting out at you like if you were in a car audio and you open the door and all the energy comes out. It goes through your body. If you're into classical music and you've been to a full orchestra, I don't know how many members that is specifically, minimum and beyond, but that is a powerful experience when you're inside a room. That music is just traveling through you. It's an amazing experience. How did we get on that little tear? I don't know. I'm gonna skip it. So this does bass well, but it does BA bass. So if I listen to something like Big Boy, on Tupac it sounded fine. Tupac's mixes are generally a little bit higher. Ghetto Boys are usually lower. That's Rap-A-Lot Records. That's generally the way that they go. Right here. This has got 3 hits. See if I can show you. 70 hertz roughly, 45 hertz roughly, and 60 hertz roughly. And of course the BA is doing like a dynamic, and I can feel it, but it's just not the same experience. But it does it, which is something that I can't really say for planars like the P1 unless you've got a hardware bass boost. Do I wreck the set? If you're a fan of BAs, I guess I would. I think it plays back my library quite well. I want to compare it with the Campfire Andromedas, because that's a set that was, I'm a influencer, a hype person, and that was put in the hands of several people like that, and it just kind of caught on, and I never got it. I literally never got it. There's no record of me saying that I thought I was a big fan of it ever in my life. I never got it. I listened to it and thought, I don't get this. Certain things have come through that are legendary in the audio world that I hear, and then I think I can't get it, because in my library, this is how important this is, and I'll let you guys go. This is the context. This is everything. What I listen to is very, very important, because if you listen to other stuff, you're listening for the key. Symbols are very important to me. You might listen to something, some kind of techno EDM, where that's really not a big deal to you. So what I say doesn't necessarily apply. It's hard to put this into a certain kind of context, but because it plays music and that's the music I use, then this is the context. And more specifically, the songs, and very specifically, timestamps, like Michael Jackson, minute 27 to minute 33, left side double beep, 39-second triangle strike on Aerosmith, America Tin Man. Aerosmith cymbal strike, I think, is at 9 seconds, and then 13-second, the first two prominent strikes, which are really, if the treble is exaggerated, it'll sound shimmering, kind of like a splash more, where I'm going for something more abrupt with proper depth. So I think that the M9 is a very good set. It's 5BA. That's the problem. I already have the Z1R, and it's got 2 dynamics and 1 BA. I like that configuration better. So I can get why a lot of people consider this to be an exceptional set. I don't disagree. Dynamic driver. That's my thing. So do I wreck it? I rec you listen to it if you can, and if you have the Andromedas, but they are not comfortable for you. I think that's a different playback, because that's got an exaggerated treble that's giving a sense of space, where this is giving me a very similar sense of space, but not in that way. It's not doing it that way. And I don't know where the BAs come from inside the Andromeda, but I know that the Sony BAs are made by Sony, and I'm a fanboy. So that's it. Music sounds good. The packaging is fantastic. The fit is quite good. There's nothing, that one symbol, triangle in America Tin Man, sounded a little bit soft, but I've heard it where it's not there, varying levels of barely can catch it. Wasn't anything like that, but I did play it a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, just to kind of get that wait, and here it comes. Okay, there it is. Try it one more time. Wait, turn it up. That happens. Vocals, okay, I'm up too much. And so I do recall doing that, looking at the graph after. So that'll be the pattern for me. Listen to the music, come to my conclusions, go check the graph, and then maybe put them together. Now I can put together why that triangle sounded a little bit de-emphasized, because it literally is in the amplitude scale, which is the frequency response graph. So I'm out. You guys take care. Love it. And now the Campfire Andromeda will grace my table, because it's a 5BA, it's legendary, and maybe the IER M9 needs a little bit more love. Put it in a video with the Andro. I wonder who's gonna win. Go. I'm out.
Selling my name to be precise, ripping mics